Hey there, welcome to PictureThisNewMedia. This is Ernest Pena or Halal Ernie. I'm trying to go by that now. I keep forgetting to say that. So, Halal Ernie with PictureThisNewMedia. And today I am going to be attempting for the third time. This is actually, well, second time and third time, because I started my stream a second ago and then I accidentally pushed something and it ended the stream in 3 seconds. So here we go with attempt number 2. Yeah, earlier today I had tried to stream and it had blocked me, and I figured out how to put video shots in the live stream now. So I think I'm gonna double check that right now. Just play this intro at silent and see if it works. Alright, I'm just double checking. We got it. Alright, now I can properly review this. Great. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started here, just because I basically did all my excitement during the first review. And I'm gonna try to power through this one as fast and as detailed as I can. Yeah, and I'm also gonna go through episode 5 because I need to rewatch episode 3 and 4 to properly review it, and I just haven't had the time to do that yet. So while number 5 is fresh in my mind, I want to get this review out and done, and as quick and out as soon as possible. Yep. Alright, so I really like the intro. I'm not gonna lie, I really like the way the cool little beads and sand and everything goes with it. It's really cool. I really like the way they did the intros, and it just, the graphics design team is doing a really good job. I'll give them that. But, I wish they spent more on writing, and I think a lot of Tolkien fans wish they spent more on writing as well. It's been a big disappointment. I better stop that before. And it's it's just been a really big disappointment for a lot of Lord of the Rings fans. and normie viewers like me, and Esther even, Queen Marie. She, we love to bag on it. Basically, we watch it to basically pick at it, and we're not even Tolkien nerds or Lord of the Rings nerds or anything like that. We're pretty much normies that haven't read the books and watch just the movies available. But I was trying to keep this with an open mind, but just that dialogue is so bad. It just throws you out, and they're trying to be deep when they're not, and it's just poetic, and it just sounds like angry teenage angst or love poems written by teenage girls. It's really immature in the writing, and you can notice it right away. Right here, she is teaching the stranger words, and the way she describes teaching like words to him is really silly. She's explaining move and migration, and it's just like, migration is when we move. And she kind of gives examples. It seems like he has the concepts of some words, but words like kill, escape his mind, it's a very for a man that looks like of his age, it's something that, like a concept that he should have grasped by now, and he doesn't know what kill is. And the way she describes it is, she's like, things that'll kill ya, and he's like, kill? What's kill? And she's like, here, I want you to listen to this. Anything that'll kill you. Kill.
To make something dead.
Oh, okay, that clears everything up. It means to make something dead. Awesome. Glad to know what kill means. It means to make something dead. Death. What's death? So she goes on to say, peril. I'm peril because I killed all the fireflies, and she's like, no, that's not right, because you're helping us, and it's different. It's different somehow. I'm good. What's good? It goes back and forth, and it's really cringy, and it kind of gets annoying, a little boring at the same time. Then we cut away to her singing this god-awful song. I'm not gonna torture you with that, but you'll hear it, and it shows the migration patterns. It shows them struggling, and they're swiping bugs away. They're going through the undercliffs, and they're gonna end up in the gray marshes, basically. And right there you see, if you paid attention to a lot of the criticisms of the Lord of the Rings of Power, is you'll see that nobody really likes the culture of the Harfoots. They are very mean people. They'll leave you behind if you can't keep up, and they'll write your tragedy in a book, and they'll celebrate about it and remember it. It's a remembrance party, and it's
never forget.
Yeah, it's like a never forget moment, and it's really cringy. Like, they make fun of people who is allergic to bees because he got stung by it and he died. And they laugh about it. It's meant as a joke, and I'm probably taking it out of line, being too serious about it. But if you think about it from a bigger perspective, this culture of people is sick. They don't like outsiders, and they'll banish you for things. They'll banish you to the back if you can't pull your weight. It's bad. It's bad.
Nobody walks alone,
and they're hypocrites at the same time, because their motto is nobody walks alone, nobody gets left behind, and that's obviously a big fat lie. Um, so another thing that doesn't make sense about the Harfoots is you see the caravan, you see how far they are. I didn't notice that before, but I notice it now. You can see how much further they are ahead of them, and you can tell that there's absolutely no cover for them to go anywhere. I mean, if they're attacked here, what are they gonna do? Dig in the sand? They're not really smart at all. They're not sticking to the riversides. They're not sticking to the mountains. They're not hiding under trees in these little areas. And I know the map kind of, it's obvious this is a desert part of the area, but at the same time, you can't leave yourself wide open like this if you're a migration type of people in a dangerous place like this. It's a very dangerous place, obviously. And there's this part. A lot of people talk crap about this part, and I'm not sure if I hate it too much. I do kind of think that they are kind of playing to the audience that, hey, do you remember this? If you don't remember it, here it is. Kind of a little play on your dumb. But it's also, I think they just took advantage of the VFX artists and did this cool little flashing scene. I mean, you don't need a VFX artist to do it, but, while they have them in there, I guess they meant to do this as a creative thing, in my opinion. Creative choice, but it does kind of feel like you're telling the audience that they're dumb enough that they couldn't remember that this crater was left by him. So they flash it to you like this. Look, there's a cool little shot of the moon. This is where I think it's the creative part. And then, hey, do you remember him? Well, he did this. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that. It's a little silly. And then we are introduced to PTNM, and that's it. We are just introduced to PTNM and the Slim Shady, the Fem Shady crew. Oh God, I couldn't say that. Fem Shady crew. And she's right here. She's discovering the Harfoot's feet right next to the big old crater. And how do you know that she's a bad, evil person? Because she looks to the left, slightly ominous and a little evil.
Hey, babe.
Kind of pissed off.
I think that's a he.
It's a she. She's got boobs.
Okay.
I'm not sure what pronouns they go by, but Britty Season is the name. And PTNM is definitely a female, biologically. Anyways. And, yeah, look at her. This is how we know that she is evil. They are evil, whatever. See, we even get the ominous music to really drive home the fact that she's a bad person. They are bad people. Oh no! And then we get to cut to the scene where Adar is kind of basking in the sun. He's got a orc hanging out with him, all cloaked up, and this is a little weird. Like, he's talking about how he's gonna black out the sun, and that how this orc's not gonna feel pain anymore, and he's gonna miss it, but he's gonna not miss it. It's contrived poetry that, just ugly, dumb poetry. And then he's torturing his supposed orc that he loves. And, he's like, show me your arm. And he goes and it immediately starts blistering. Like, look at that. Flesh burning. Stop it there. Yeah, look at, you can see that the makeup team didn't really do a good job, or the VFX artists. It looks obviously not real. Even if it was a makeup job, it's a really bad makeup job. It looks like there's paint and there's his real arm, and they just glued some monkeypox on him. So yeah, definitely a weird, cringy situation. And a moment to think about is the way Tolkien created the orcs is they despise their creators, and they despise they loathed them to the point that they feared them is the only reason that they were compliant with them, but they loathed them and they hated them, and they never worshipped them, and they never saw them as a parental figure or something to be adored or something to be praised. They feared them. That's basically it, and did what they said out of fear. They did not like the fact that they were created in such a brutal and cruel way and born in brutal, cruel ways. It's a very disgusting culture that they were raised upon, and they don't like it. They don't like it. So that's one thing to think about whenever he's doing this to his fellow orc, and that they would be nothing like this, and the fact that they sizzle like bacon in the sun is also false. Yes, he blots out the sun, but they expand long reaches of earth that has not been affected by the Southlands in the future, and they have to tackle all these territories in day or night. So I think it's more of a stunning effect that the sun has on their eyes when it's in concentrated bright light, like when Gandalf did his flashlight trick when the sun was rising. But the fact that he's burning up is just silly. Cut to the scene where Bronwyn and Erendir is trying to lead the town into fighting against the orcs, and she has no pep in her rally. Like, it's so sad, and half the people choose to fight, not necessarily fight with her, but fight, and drunk stinky hobo takes half the town with them, and we're gonna see how this happens here.
This tower will no longer be a reminder of our frailty, but a symbol of our strength.
And another thing is, I don't really see why she's
Who will stand with me?
see, she says, "Who will stand with me?" Right? And
Who among you will stand and fight?
like, the first question didn't really stick, but the second one is really gonna actually help. And the thing is Erendir is what's it called? He's militarily trained, and he has tactics, military training. He knows how to fire. He has thousands of years potentially of military experience guarding this, protecting them from evil things, monsters. And I have no idea why she's leading the fight, leading the charge, and why he couldn't say, hey, I got your back, I know what I'm doing. If you follow me, I will guarantee you some sort of semblance of victory. But no, we have female strong warrior with no warrior experience who've only killed one orc with her very, very lucky set of stumbling consequences that happened. And I don't blame half the crowd for doing what they did. And here, who will stand and fight? And we get one hand, then like a few hands, and everybody's like, yeah, let's do it. And then stand and fight. Yeah, this guy looks like a leader amongst men that's gonna lead you into into safety. you know, and this is why Bronwyn loses half of the people, because you know she didn't have she didn't have him to speak for her. You will die. You know, and he kind of he goes a little, you know. Oh, okay, that's convincing. Let's go ahead. See, it takes 2 words to convince half the people to, you know, not fight for their lives, but to take their chance with the orcs. Yeah, that makes sense. Then we get to the scene. This part really isn't too important. Basically, they're loading up. As you can see, they're loading up horses, and they're getting the ships ready. So just be mindful of that while we go into the future. Elendil is talking to his son, Isildur, and he's basically trying to convince his dad to let him go on the quest. And you know, since he got fired in episode 4, he's like, nah, you know, there's no qualifications. These people have lived and worked all their lives, and I can't just let you in because you're my son, basically. You know, dropping some truth bombs on him. And then another pointless scene with these 2 people where she basically radicalizes little Timmy here into terrorism. And you'll see why that happens later too. Basically, she's like, war's bad, they shouldn't do this. And then we get to Sauron. I meant Halbrand. Halbrand. Not Sauron. Not Sauron. Wink, wink. Practicing in his forge, and he makes this wonderful blade because he's such a great forger, right? And he shows his blade, his beautiful creation. It's actually really nice. You know, obviously it's probably not made by him for reals, obviously. And Numenorean Blacksmith is like, hey, this is pretty dope. And we get the funniest, one of the funniest lines here, because he doesn't. I really, one quick pause here. I really like the Islamic aesthetics here to the Numenorean background. That geometry is actually very unique to Arab countries. So I like that they put that in. I just don't know what it has to do with Numenor, but I really like the way it looks. Especially since they're trying to base it off Caesar's. I don't know why they're trying to do that either, but we get to this funny line right here. Well, I guess we passed the funny line, but he says you have a visitor, and what he means is you've been summoned, because they take Halbrand to a private place with the elf and the queen, Queen Regent Muriel, and they basically discuss plans. And she's like, I need you, and he's like, I'm not all about it. And she's like, well, she said, Galadriel being she said you'd be about it, so I stick my reputation on it. You better be about it. And he's like, oh, she did she? And then this pompous bitch. Ugh.
Do you have a lighter?
She says, I don't.
Okay.
Where is it? Did she now? I trust she wasn't speaking in haste. And then she says, my companion is merely feeling the weight of his task, interrupting him, because he was about to say, nah, I'm not about this. I don't want to do this crap.
I have no doubt. Come time. He will do his part.
Oh, and the way she says it. And look at that reaction. What a wonderful little pause I just did. I did that on total accident. Total accident. Oh, man. That's great. So basically that didn't go as well as she planned, and they get mad at each other, and we're back to the evil Harfoots, which they discover some wolf tracks. Woof. the worst CGI wolves ever. But you know, I get a little excited because maybe one of these Harfoots are going to be taken out, and they give you some good hate porn right before that, because then this cranky lady, and I use that term very loosely, comes up to Lenny Harry and basically says, let's kill them and steal their shit. I'm not joking. Here.
Time of year. Mrs. Purdy would punish. He's responsible, isn't he? The big fella.
What precisely do you expect me to do about it?
What you ought to have done at the camp. Take their wheels and leave them.
Look at Lenny Andrews' face. He's shocked. He was just as shocked as me. What's it? What? Take their wheels and leave them, just because there's no food. You know, that could be from the destruction of the land. But you know, nah, it's the stranger's fault. Fuck them. Let's leave them behind and take their shit. These people are awful. And how are they gonna take their shit when like most of them don't even pull their weight when somebody's injured? And this homeless lady comes up and says, they're hungry. Yeah, everybody's hungry. So she starts picking at stuff, and this is where I get really excited. She just said that evil crap, and then, oh, I'm waiting, and then the worst community theater acting I can ever, like, possibly see.
Time, please.
Ah, and then it's only Nori and them.
Hard to burst.
I wish it did. And basically they start hearing the wolves and creatures, and they're like, get out, no, run. And they run, and then we get a jump scare, and they're running, and this is really weird. I don't know what she's trying to do. Maybe she's trying to break the stick to beat it or something. But she's just wiggling. Yeah, she's just wiggling the stick, and she looks so lame. She's like, And then the stranger just body chunks that. Oh yeah, that's the wolf, by the way. And then he squares up with it like he's an MMA fighter in a what's it called? In a karate fight. It's really funny. He's like, aww! They're all about to go at it, and the stranger does this with them. So he just launches them, and the magic hurts his arm. I didn't know magic hurts your arm. I didn't know magic hurts you, but apparently that it does now. So, oh God. And then we come to the worst part of the show. This is absolutely the worst part of the show. And yeah. Oh goodness. Is this bad? Basically, give me a second. Excellent connection. I had a little bit of a scare here. Basically, their training is going pretty bad, and Galadriel's like, I can train them. I know my way around a sword. I don't know exactly what she says, but you know, she says some stuff, and you know, she said perhaps an elf would be willing to offer some instructions. And she says there are many ways to kill an orc, and then she explains how we kill an orc. Want to learn how?
But for you, I will keep it strong and simple.
She's gonna keep it simple for us because we're stupid. I meant them. I meant us. I meant all of us. Because She knows.
Stab, twist, gut.
Oh, that's how it goes. Look at him. He's not having. He's like, yeah, I bet you it took so much for him not to laugh during some of these scenes. Oh, I know I would have.
Come on,
And
at me.
she says that.
You will see who can score flesh.
He's ready for some. He's ready to score some flesh. I can tell in his eyes. He knows what I'm talking about too. Oh goodness.
Anyone that does, I will promote.
So they say that basically anybody that scores a hit on Galadriel will he'll get promoted to lieutenant. And from this point, I really don't understand. I mean, either from both a training aspect and a movie aspect. Not really a movie aspect because he can make shiny things look fake and not sharp, but for a training aspect and a quote unquote, if this was a real life thing, why not train with wooden swords? Because you can lob somebody's head off with these things. These are dangerous weapons. You know, these are meant to kill, obviously. So you know, what's to stop him from gutting Galadriel? What's to stop her from, you know, slicing any part of him? You know, it's a bit weird that they choose to do this training with real swords. Just putting that out there, you know. So basically we get the worst stance ever, and that look and that look in that stance here. Let me just capture her face right there. Just that look. I don't know, something about that smugness about this whole scene. It just makes it so cringy, and I don't like it. I do not like this scene. Cringy is the only word I can describe this as too. I'm sorry, it's such a low ball word, but this is such a low ball moment. That's the only way I could describe it, and it's so, the choreography is so bad. You could tell that they spent no money on the choreography into this fight, and that all they did was spend money on the costumes and the camera work, because they hide behind a lot of pillars. They do a lot of shaky cam stuff, and they do a lot of quick moving, quick pace shots that do not help. Make this feel real and make this feel like she's actually in danger or he's actually in danger. It's just, except for the bad swordsmanship, you know, I kind of feel scared for the actors in some of these scenes. I'll just shut up and show you. I don't feel, you know, particularly scared for her because she's such a badass girl boss. See, and she does that, and basically owns him at every second. Gets behind him even, and she says, "This jewel." I gotta go back. Let's see, 20. Here, I'm sorry, I went back a little bit more. I'll go back again.
Not your arms. Swordsmanship is about balance rather than strength.
No, it's not. There's balance goes into it, but strength plays a big part of it. Disparu, I heard you. Okay? I heard this part too.
Not your arms.
Fight with your feet, not your arms. Now, I'm kind of echoing Disparu right here, but how in the hell do you fight with your feet? With swords? I get footing, but that's not what you fight with. Bad writing. And then this psychopath comes out of nowhere and then puts it into overdrive. And I'll let you know why he's a psychopath. He just almost cut his friend's head off there. Did you see that? I'll go one more time. Look. Look at this guy. He's so crazy. Oh my goodness. It's like this sword scene is just, and then it gets even more crazy. Like, I'm getting the Last Jedi, Palpatine's Royal Guards vibes in this one. I know it's been compared to that a lot, but I mean, it's compared to that for a reason. I mean, I don't want to get copyright strict because I'm playing the whole scene, but it gets really bad. Seizure hears that the elf's fighting, he gets all excited, and then we get this magical money shot. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. She's like, look at me spin my blades. Oh crap, I went too far. I'm getting bad at this. Alright, here. He like runs, and she does her little trailer blade spinny thing, and now all four of them are coming at her. He gets stuck up there, and then this person starts seizing out. She does this thing, gets him all scared, and then she sexually assaults him. It's great. Now, I wonder if Halbrand did that to Galadriel. Would Twitter hate him? Just saying.
Here you go.
And we got these extras, we got Asians, and we've got this guy with the bowl cut, and we got 31 flavors of humans right here. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh yeah, that's where you guys seized it out. Let me show that one more time. So the setup here is he gets hit up, and the setup is a guy's sword is gonna go up in this area, and that causes him to seize out, and it's gonna be on this side of the screen. So it just kind of, I know it's the scene's gonna change. And what blocking stance is that? Just like, what is that? Somebody hits, it's gonna bash the sword into you, and then it's gonna bash his sword into you. So that's a bad stance. Whoever trained them is, we need somebody else. See, look at, there we go. She starts seizing out. I guess it was in the middle of the screen, sorry. I had you guys looking over here. It was in the middle. I could have done without that shot, honestly. She didn't look half as good as they thought she was gonna look there. You ever like create something and you think it's gonna look so awesome, and then when you create it, you just like look at it and you're like, yeah, that's kind of cringe, mate. There it is. See, sword into her, and he scored a cut. There's this cut, and there's the lieutenant, and everybody cheers. He's all happy, and then not Sauron does a little sword trick. Here it is. Oh snap. Gives it back to him, and then we get this wonderful line.
Seizure could do that.
He works with swords all day long. the first thing a guy does when he gets a knife or a sword is he swings it around, plays with it. I'm pretty sure he would pick up a sword twirl or two along the way. So then we get to this little weird scene right here. Basically nobody wants to do it. He's radicalizing the guy some more. Pretty pointless scene. And then the king basically is like, nah, don't go anymore, it's gonna be death and darkness for you, or something like that. And then we go to the Harfoots, back to the Harfoots, and she's all happy and skipping along, and we go to the stranger, who is basically healing his hand. And how he heals his hand is he puts it in water and it starts freezing, right? It starts freezing. So it starts freezing and she starts freaking out. And she does the greatest, smartest idea in the world. She touches it, you know? Great, smart, good choice. Great choices here. She's freaking out and she has a totally other free hand, right? But does she use it to like slap him in the face? Because he's in a trance. He's gone into the world. He's doing wizard stuff, right? Not Gandalf, but he's doing wizard stuff. He's in a trance, and instead of using her other arm to smack him around, wake him up, hey, stop it, you're hurting me. No, she just uses her other hand to pull her frozen hand. And he launches her like 30 feet back, and he goes to check on her. He's like, oh crap, I hurt you. And then she's like, oh crap. And she runs away. Like she made a bad choice, and she takes a walk of shame. And now I'm gonna be honest, during this part, the first 2 times I fell asleep. I fell asleep on this part because I got bored. But apparently, well, I did watch it. Apparently there's basically they're trying to get answers to the mithril, and they got this scene about him saying that the table is special to the dwarves because they use it to bury their dead. When they don't, he just wanted to get one up on the dwarves because they're basically finding out about the mithril, and he feels weak, I guess. I really don't understand this scene too much on why they basically do the mithril. But the thing I find funny is they continue to have this dinner on the sacred table. Anyways, they're like, oh, that's sacred, I'll give it back to you, that's cool, you know, you can have it back. And they finished their dinner, and
this stone grows only at certain depths. Its use dead.
yeah, see, to honor our dead.
We shall have to.
There's still some honor left among the elves.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, there's still some honor. And they finish up their dinner party, and he's basically, you know, find out about the mithril, right? And then they go to this weird computerized computerized game, video game cutscene, basically, of an elf. I think that's supposed to be it's supposed to be one of the, I think, Galadriel's brother or his dad or something. I don't know. It's supposed to be a very high elf, basically, and he's putting his good elf vibes into it, and he's finding a Balrog. He's putting putting basically his bad juju in it, trying to corrupt it. And at this moment that they're battling, lightning strikes the tree, and while the good stuff's in the tree, it creates the mithril, and they need the mithril to help give the elves more power, longer lasting life, or something. I don't know. They already live more forever, but they need to get that to feel good about themselves. I don't know. It all makes no sense. And then we cut to the scene where basically he's begging Valandil, or Isildur is begging Valandil to take him on the quest, and the gang punches him and says no. And you know, they send him off, and you know, it's all very, very weird. And now I did mention Mr. Timmy, the terrorist over here, got radicalized and decided to go and do some direct action, and starts leaking oil all over the floor. And he hears a noise, and like the genius he is, instead of, you know, setting the boat on fire and running away, he goes towards the noise. And he was about to do it there. So he goes towards the noise, and basically is like, oh, you're stowing away.
Are you stowing away?
Yeah, it's all really ridiculous. And he's like, are you about to blow the ship up? And they start fighting over it, and it gets the job done. And they run out. They run out. He falls and biffs it. And yeah, woohoo! $1 billion, baby. There it goes. So basically, this boat and the boat behind it, probably with all the horses, the food. Hopefully there weren't soldiers in there, but the horses are dead. The food's gone, and instead of 5 ships, they now have 3 only. So yeah, that turned out great. These 2 idiots swim to shore, and they're like, oh, I'm glad you're okay, and they don't question them at all. Really.
What happened? He was in a fishing boat. The cask must have gone up. A cask?
Huh? What does that mean? Like, what?
He saved my life. He could have just left. He saved my life.
Yeah. They don't. They just accept it for some weird reason. It's really weird. Next we go to more elf stuff that I'm not really interested in, and basically we get to the scene where the people are going to the orcs, and Halbrand and Galadriel are having a little bickering moment.
Don't know how I survived.
And he's saying, you know, you don't know how I survived in the and escaped from the Southlands, and
Don't know how I survived.
how we all survived. And right here, the people are surrendering themselves to the orcs and bowing to the orcs and Adar. Right. And then we cut back to Galadriel and Halbrand. And we get this great poetry. Sometimes to find the light, we must first touch darkness. Yeah, not as deep as you think, guys. Really isn't. And he responds, what do you know of darkness? And she looks a little tongue-tied. And basically, he's calling her out on, this is a revenge quest, you know. Why are you bringing me along for your revenge quest? He was killed by the servants of Sauron, or something, I don't know, I don't get it.
You're asking me to go to the one place that I swore never to return. The least
Says
you can
that.
do is tell me why.
And we're gonna get a wonderful reason. Just listen.
Because I cannot stop.
Oh wow, I cannot stop. That's that. I'll go. And like the simp he is, he goes. And she twists her words about being exiled whenever she wasn't really being exiled. She was being rewarded, and it wasn't exhalation. Really, it wasn't. She was going to be amongst her kind. It makes no sense. Bad writing. So she goes, your sorrow cannot ease my pain. And we bring it all about her again. And, it's not about him returning to his kingdom. It's about her still going for revenge and her needing his help for some weird reason. We still haven't established why she needs his help. Like, she has the seal to the Southlands, but really, if she takes it back, any asshole can be the king anyways, because that's what they were gonna do.
Yeah, but she says she needs
without
him
her.
to lead the people, to rally them for her cause.
Yeah,
They
because
will follow him because he's the rightful king.
because she doesn't have a good leadership role to herself. You know, any good leader can lead men to fight for a land that they can run themselves. You know, oh, this is an opportunity for people to come up, whether with good or bad intentions. It's to be for them to decide once they claim it back from the orcs. You know, still. And the only reason that she's using him is for clout. And old school clout is a ratchet term for it. But yeah, so so basically he simps out and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. Well, he doesn't state it there, but he'll show it later. And they're a little taken back. They're like, what the hell are these people doing here? You know, pretty bold of them to come up to orcs. And I'm surprised the orcs didn't just start wailing away at them already. Like, I don't understand that. They're going onto their territory with torches. Yeah, it's not in a threatening manner, but still, it's their territory, and they cleared out the people before. So I don't understand why they're not chopping away right now. But you know, the script needs it to have a little bit of emotion here. So we got Drunken Hobo preaching for the rest of the group here, and he says, I pledge my loyalty to Sauron. He doesn't roll his R's, but I'm Mexican, so it kind of is hard for me not to. But he's like, pledge my loyalty to Sauron. And he doesn't like that. He really doesn't like to be called Sauron. And he goes to him, he's like, well, you Sauron, ain't you? Oh, are you not? And then he chokeslams him. It's so great. And basically, he's like, if you want to pledge your loyalty to me, you're gonna have to pledge it in blood. And if we forgot MAGA Boy from season 2, 3, or episode 3 and 5, 4, 2 or 4, I don't remember. That's why I gotta rewatch them. But this guy, Rowan, Ian Blackburn, it's his blood that's gonna be spilt.
Only blood, Eli.
Sacrifice the boy.
So yeah, we're getting a little edgy here. We're gonna sacrifice the boy, and of course it's gonna be off camera, and he's gonna cry and whimper about it. And this little simp man is gonna do it. See, look at MAGA Boy, he's crying with his fur coat. And yeah, we get to this scene, and this is where it gets confusing too, because yeah, it looks like he's turning into a good leaf and is turning into a good boy, and then really, like, they get a little bit of a bonding moment, just a tiny bit, and this kid folds like a pansy. He's like, look at this sword I got. He teaches them how, this is where they
At least he
bond.
goes to an adult, right?
They bond over this arrow, or this bow and arrow, and he teaches them how to bow and arrow, and then shows them the sword. And he's like, oh hey, I've seen this before, I know this. And then literally
It's right there, in your face.
2 feet away, there's a wall with some brush, and they move it to the side, and it tells the story and whole history of this stupid thing. Everybody stands around like they know what they're talking about too, and
And now everybody knows.
it's a little bit on the nose, isn't it?
Or that's what the orcs are up to.
Like quite literally on the nose. So if this was so apparent, why didn't the orcs just start off here? I don't get it either, but they have the whole story, the history. There's the blade, there it is, the statue of it right there. And yeah, I really don't get the purpose of this scene, and I don't really get the purpose of why they have this. Basically, you could tell right here that it was made for human sacrifices, and you could tell that it was because it soaks up human blood. I like that they used an Inca tradition in Middle Earth. That's definitely a new thing, because they're definitely copying the South American indigenous sculptures with this piece of work. I don't think any Nordic tribe has ever done something similar to this, so congratulations. Thank you for what people like this activists would call cultural appropriation. Good job. You owned yourself for that. And they see the orcs in the distance gathering their army, and they're like, we're gonna prepare for war. And yeah, nothing more exciting happens, and nothing exciting happens here either. It's really not important. More bonding between Elrond and Prince Durin the Fourth. We get this moment right here where Halbrand is looking at his little patch, his little seal that makes him heir to the throne, and he's in the blacksmithing shop, and looks like he's gonna just continue to blacksmith. He throws his little pouch down, and then, oh, would you look at that? The music gave it away. And look at him all sexy with his armor and his boob armor. That's wonderful. Good job. Moob armor. Yeah, moob armor. Yeah. And then we get the printed T-shirt underneath the 3D printed armor on the Queen here, the Queen Regent. And we get the 3D printed undershirts. Yeah, that armor just looks so bad. What was that on his head? Did you see that? Did you notice that on before? It looks like he's got like one satellite dish going to the left and to the right. Like, what is that? Or they're like little broom sweepers? Yeah, I missed that last time. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And a lot of these men's helmets aren't even on straight, they're on to the right. And there's Miss Concerned Face making concerned faces. And they're taking off with their 3 boats. And then we get the money shot, the teaser trailer shot. They're all entering in one by one, and excuse me. And then everybody's like, oh, I went too far. Oh, everybody shut up and take their place. Everybody take their place. Oh, get out of the way. Princess Cardboard Armor is coming. God, she just... they just make her look so bad. I feel so bad for her. They do not make her look good. They kill Galadriel. This thing looks like it's spray painted cardboard. You can see the brown kind of coming at the edges right there. I'm mortified for Morphid in this scene. I really am.
Mom, that mean lady that you were calling the mean lady, the Harfoot mean lady, isn't her name Marfa?
No, Morphid Clark is Galadriel.
No, but isn't her name Marfa? The mean lady.
I don't know. Probably. Yeah, and yeah, this shot really isn't as glorious as it's supposed to be, especially since she is so short. She is supposed to be 6'4", and she's not even. Every teenage boy from like surrounding her is taller than her, except for maybe that guy. But everybody else is taller than her, and it just looks so funny. He's trying not to laugh, and yeah, this scene is super cringe. And then we get this little lovey-dovey scene right in front of everybody. The sea is always right. Oh, sorry, I thought they were gonna say that. And when they sail off, I guess they don't show that one part in the trailers. But yeah, that's the end of episode 5, Partings. And if I were to rate this episode, I will rate it a 2 out of 10. And I'm being generous with that 2. I'll give that 2 to the VFX artist, basically. That's it. Everything else was trash. The fight scenes were trash. The acting was trash. The writing was trash. The dialogue was trash. Like, the table scene was worthless. It's just like this entire episode was just an entire waste of time. I heard a good joke about it, that it should be called fartings, because that's all you get out of that is gas. It's pretty bad. Last episode, they were going to leave to Numenor, and this episode, guess what they're doing? Leaving to Numenor. We don't go anywhere. The Harfoots just get worse. The stranger just gets stranger. Yeah, the CGI wolves, like I would give it a 3, but the CGI wolves brought it down to a 2. I would give the VFX artist a 3, but that wolf just made it a 2, and the monkeypox on the arm of the orc also gave it a 2. So yeah, this is definitely the worst episode of the lot. And we're I think over halfway done with this series. I think this is episode I think this is 8 episodes. If I'm mistaken, it could be 9, but we're on episode 5. We've got 3 more if it's 8 episodes, and we basically know nothing, and that's the whole point of this. Is you can't make 5 seasons off just appendices. You can't. And whatever little separate rights they got off of it, you can't create more than this. And I feel kind of bad for the writers, because they're inexperienced, and 2, they got an overwhelming revamp to think about when it comes to season 2, because I think they're done recording on season 1. I don't think there's anything they could do in post to edit this to make it better. Season 1 is done and over with, and we've got what we've got, but season 2 isn't even in production yet, I don't think. So they really gotta change it up in season 2. But with the people working on it, with the 25 producers, with the writing staff, with the dialogue we're getting, with the storyboards that they're pumping out, because the storyboards, like some of the scenes that they show, it's like if I would have saw that as a storyboard for a comic, I would have laughed in their face and told them to redraw it. Like, I don't understand how they go from certain scenes to another certain scene without being confusing, and they confused me a lot in this episode. Like, I didn't notice that the Harfoots were so far ahead of Nori and Poppy is her name. I didn't think that they were so far ahead, and I didn't notice it until the 4th time I watched it, that they were actually in the frame. I thought they were so far ahead that they weren't even in the frame, but you barely noticed them. And the fact that I fell asleep 2 different times trying to watch this is a big statement, because I actually kind of enjoy picking this apart. I enjoy quote unquote hate watching this, because it's a good time, it's a good laugh. A lot of people say it's not, where it's so bad it's good. I kind of argue that not that it's good, but that it's so bad that it's entertaining to watch, because you can catch different things. And another thing that I forgot to mention here is during the scene where she was trying to get fighters to fight for her. Oh goodness. I wish I could find it really fast. I think I'm way ahead. Fighters. Where are my fighters at? Wow. Well, anyways, there's this the scene where the fighters, where she's calling for experienced fighters, and or the elf, or I thought the elf would be making a better speech instead of just her. And yeah, here it is. It was way at the beginning, and whenever she's looking at them, let me see if we can catch it. I'm gonna put the music down, the sound down, but they didn't have enough people to fill it up. So what they did was they copied and pasted a bunch of the people, and you'll see some people in hoods, and you'll see some people in two packs of people that match that are mirrored. I guess I'm not going to be able to catch it, but if you look on another person on Ryan Kennel's YouTube, you'll be able to catch it, and he shows it on that YouTube, and it's bad. You can notice it right away. You'll see that there's two matching sets of people, and they're matching 4 or 5 different areas, and one of them is mirrored even. So it's really bad, and it's in this scene, the first 9 minutes. Yeah, here it is.
You want me to show you?
I got it. So we'll go up to here. She's walking up. She's about to make her speech. And it took a little bit longer than I thought to get here. Boom. Yeah, here's one guy right here, and then there he is right there. Oh wait, no, there he is right there, and there's him, and there he is right there. So they copied and pasted these people, and they put them.
Crowd of 100 people, and
They couldn't put them in. There's the guy in the hood. There he is. Like, see, there he is in the hood, and the big old beard are on this side. And then they recorded him and put him on this side. You can see him right there. It's amazing. I can't believe people catch that. So if you just screenshot this, you can tell where they put people in and copied and pasted them. It's amazing what they can do nowadays. Oh yeah, look at, there's the guy with the chest. He's right there. It's amazing. It's amazing. They couldn't get a crowd of 100 people, so they put. Oh, look at, there's the bearded guy in another spot. I'll put the mouse right here, and once it disappears, you'll see him. Yep, there he is. There's the bearded guy again. So that's the bearded guy, and there he is. In this spot. So, yeah, it's amazing. They knew that this TV show was gonna get picked apart. They really did. And they couldn't color shade, they couldn't change up the outfit, they couldn't be bothered to do any of that. This is lazy writing and lazy editing too. There's so much corners cut that all the money just went to the actors and to the producers. And I'm not lying when it comes to the 25 producers. There's 25 producers that worked in this first season already. So yeah, they got a big rethink in season 2. So yeah, that does it for my review of episode 5. I'm sorry it went so long. I just had a lot to say about it.